And Wigan lost again just 4 days later at Castleford. The defence, which had been so solid all season, was now full of holes, and the championship was suddenly wide open again. Wigan are only 2 points clear of Leeds, and both have played the same number of games. St Helens also have 4 matches left, and they're 2 points behind Leeds, still not without hope. Let's check the remaining fixtures. No easy ones for Leeds. The 4-pointer at Wigan will now be on Tuesday week, and then it's Featherstone at home and Castleford away over Easter. Wigan are at Wakefield today, the highlights of that later in tonight's scrumdown. Then they play their 2 title rivals and what should be an easy finish at home to Leeds. St Helens too play a team threatened by relegation, Sheffield, but you could hardly have a tougher finish than Wigan and Widnes. Today, Colin Maskell and Paul Groves will be locked in a head-to-head battle between 2 of Britain's best hookers. Maskell's been enjoying his best ever season for Leeds. His surging runs and intelligent support have played a major part in their success and brought him to the verge of the Great Britain squad. But Groves has skill of his own to offer. Watch this sleight of hand to set up a St Helens try. He's already toured with Great Britain in Australia, and he could be up against Maskell for this summer's trip to New Zealand. Maskell has an extra string to his bow. He's within 6 goals of becoming the first hooker to kick 100 in a season. And he may have more today. Leeds against St Helens is often high scoring.
Yes, they're always fast and open. You know, St Helens play that kind of game where they keep the ball alive, and I think today we have to try and kill that ball.
Do you think you can still win the title?
Well, you know, like I said, there's still 3 or 4 games left, and our target is those 8 points. And hopefully, if you know, Wigan slip up on the running.
Yes, this is the place to be today, Headingley. Terrific match this one, and no doubt about it, whoever loses today will know that the championship's not going to be theirs this season. But what a start for Phil Ford, what a place to knock on in the first second of the game.
Well, he did something similar last week as well. He had a bad start to the game. Let's hope it doesn't continue for him, but they certainly don't come any harder than St Helens, and Leeds have it all to do this afternoon, despite the fact they have home advantage.
Oh, what about that? A penalty awarded to Leeds when they certainly needed it. It was going to be a St Helens put in 5 yards out, and the scrum infringement gives a penalty which Alex Bowman from Whitehaven awards, and his second consecutive appearances in matches at Headingley on scrumdown. He officiated in the Leeds-Wigan game as well. Well, that was sweet relief for Leeds.
Well, it certainly got them off the hook, and what they've got to do now is assert that authority on the game straight away. They have been slow starters, and David Ward was concerned about in the dressing room last week and said they have to do something about it. Let's see if they can this afternoon.
Oh, well, it was like a bar of soap there as it spun around, and Colin Maskell did his side well by falling on it. Schofield with the kick, and he just got it through the pair of hands, aiming to clutch it out of his grasp. Oh, and up quickly, Cavill-Hugh. That just shows how quick the forwards are nowadays. He was up there in a trice. George Mann, and the 2 Manns who are playing over here at the moment have certainly had a big effect in rugby league. Showed one yesterday for Warrington. Here is George playing for St Helens today. Neil Holding, and the line is Roy Haggerty. I've seen him have some good games here at Headingley. It's one of his favourite grounds. Matches between Leeds and St Helens over the years have tended to be high scoring, as indeed the one at Knowsley Road was this season. Clever chip over the top, and 4 St Helens players come up, and Groves takes it on and goes to the head tackle from Cruikshank, and Cruikshank is sent off.
Groves picks up this loose ball and starts to go through a gap. He swerves inside. Now just watch this action. That left referee and everybody on the ground in no doubt as to what happened on that occasion. Well, the Rugby League have come down hard on that. The referee was quite right in doing it.
What an irony that Paul Loughlin, who was found, well, he appeared before a disciplinary committee meeting on Thursday and could well have been out suspended himself, is the one who will be taking the goal kick. Loughlin's kick soars over the bar. 2 points for St Helens, and Paul Loughlin's boot has kicked so many this season. It's hardly surprising. He really has had his eye in, and he worked very, very hard, I know, last summer on improving his kicking.
That's a double blow now for Leeds, because not only have they had a player sent off, the resulting penalty have put them 2 points down with only 12 men left on the field.
I think there are a few nerves out there today. That one skidded all the way through Gary Connolly's hands, and so the drop out under the posts is at the other end.
Well, it is a big game, there is no doubt at all about it, and the action we'll no doubt see this afternoon will justify just that.
They rely once more on the boot of Loughlin. This time it's straight into the hands, the welcoming hands of Gary Schofield, who tries to find a gap and gets play midway inside the 25. Maskill. Oh, good break from Maskill. Falls around the neck. A fair tackle by Shane Cooper. Aided and abetted by Loughlin. Leeds come looking with Devorty. So St Helens have the first points on the board, but Leeds are not far out and looking to retaliate immediately. And Schofield thought of the long pass. Oh, and slips it back beautifully to Devorty. Tension charges this one at Headingley. Schofield does go for the long pass, and here's a great chance as Dixon spins his man away. Few yards out, back inside, force it. Has to come. Last tackle. So will Leeds run it? They kick it high. Schofield slits the ball. Great chances. Heron no more than 5 yards out. He's got to release it though. Can't do so, and St Helens fortress holds good.
Well, that was superb brand of football by Leeds then. They moved the ball about, there was plenty of commitment in their play, and that certainly makes St Helens realise exactly what type of game they're in for this afternoon.
And now it's Andy Bateman who's gone down, clutching his head. Leeds were looking a little bit perplexed as to why he should have gone down like that. Bateman tells the referee exactly why he did. So Leeds will put in another promising position. Out for Schofield. He didn't have much time in which to pass it to Heron. St Helens were up sharply. Devorty, to play the ball, tried to trick everybody by going on a one-man run. But Leeds certainly not playing one-man rugby. Schofield gets the ball away. It's got to be a try. It certainly is for Rob Ackerman. Schofield and Cuita were there. The man who actually took the ball over the line was the Welshman. Rob Ackerman recalled this week to the three-quarter line. Leeds plumping for experience.
Well, just watch this action, because it was this delayed pass of Gary Schofield that actually made the half gap for Cuita, trusting it was his strong run-in, but Ackerman merely had to latch onto it and score a brilliant try.
He'll be pleased, Rob Ackerman. He got two on his debut against Barrow, since when things have been a bit more difficult. But today's match against St Helens, the first score always important. St Helens got the penalty, but that will do Leeds a power of good. And Maskill, who's approaching a century of goals this season, a rarity indeed for a hooker, looks to tack on 2 more points. One swings across the face of the post, so Leeds go into a 4-2 advantage, and their early pressure deserved that try. Holding, Loughlin lost it. Gibson will pick it up for Leeds, and this is a good position again, and he's still going. Oh, Gibson, spirited play. Well, he's been recalled by Malcolm Reilly to the Great Britain squad for the Test match here against France. Now Schofield, and this is great stuff from Leeds. The ball fairly whizzing through the hands of Dixon. Holding just can't pin him down. Lovely football. Schofield comes. Caught by Connolly. And a penalty awarded. This should be well within Maskell's capabilities. Good enough, and it's 6-2. Alan Maskell's had a truly outstanding season, the best undoubtedly since he joined the club from Wakefield Trinity. And he's on to 95 goals for the season. And there is the shot of Andy Bateman. Apparently that left eye on the far side, we can't just see it there, but it is virtually closed. And treatment being administered by Jeanette Smith. You saw the errors there, and Saints had made 4 to Leeds when Holdings found yet another gap. And gets the ball away nicely to Groves, and Leeds could be really caught out here. Groves only a few yards out, and the substitute Bourneville with his first touch could well have been scorching over the line. Tricky moments these for Leeds. Haggerty plunges forward, he's going to make it. Roy Haggerty, a St Helens scorer nearly every time he plays against Leeds at Headingley. I've seen him plunder his way over for so many tries. He's got over 100 for the club. And I bet he's got a fair proportion of them here at Headingley. That's another for the collection.
A series of errors, Saints ball, they move it out, Haggerty knocks off the first tackler, that's what it's all about. Ford can't bring him down, couldn't even hold him down, and Haggerty goes over.
Can Loughlin knows St Helens in front again. Looks good. Up go the flags. And St Helens regain the lead at 8-6. Nicely done by Shane Cooper. Talking of astute footballers, he certainly is one. Haggerty always goes in with that familiar style of his with his knee up. Groves kicks through, impeded, and should latch onto it again. Kicks past Phil Ford. He has to race back and dive at it. Oh, loses the ball. Leeds won't thank Phil Ford for doing that. Bourneville. Phil Ford is such a mixture. He can be so brilliant on attack, and then he can make mistakes like that, and he's really got his side under the cosh now. Holding and man. All he had to do was fall on the ball, really.
That's right, it was a kick ahead, it was the ideal opportunity, plenty of time to do it.
Oh, Loughlin's in. Paul Loughlin for St Helens. And that all came about because of that mistake by Phil Ford, who hangs his head over there in the corner. He knew he'd made the mistake, and St Helens have the players to capitalise every single time, and that's exactly what they did. Paul Loughlin's the try scorer.
Leeds were putting their game together. That incident with Phil Ford meant they lost possession. It was a quick transfer of the ball out to Loughlin, whose graceful running takes him over outside Ford.
Loughlin. If he kicks this one, he's really got his eye in. My word, what a splendid kick. And Paul Loughlin stretches St Helens 14-6 ahead. And David, you're just talking about championship potential when you think they've come here without some of their top players, but they still score tries like this.
But you know, it's just a run around the stand-off after Neil Holding takes it, a superb pass. And this guy really is grace and style, isn't he? Look at the movement as he goes over. Given the outside, there's no hope of the defence catching him.
To Leeds. The offence there in keeping Gibson at bay. And it's going to be 10 minutes for Roy Haggerty. He's got a yellow card and he'll spend 10 minutes in the sin bin. Doesn't want to go. In fact, it's Gary Connolly. It's Connolly who's talking to Haggerty, but it's Connolly who's gone.
Well, the referees have. We have complained ourselves watching the game about the tactic of holding people down after they've been tackled. The referee was there at the time and he had no hesitation in sending him off.
An important phase of the game because for the moment it's 12 aside again. So things have been evened up. Leeds, he's got the ball back for Kuiti. Now Hugh must make it surely. Campbell Hugh. just the shot in the arm that Leeds needed. And Connolly on the bench must be thinking about that, because he's crossed his side there. He's spending 10 minutes in the sin bin, and in the first of those minutes, Leeds take toll.
Connolly has gone off. They're down to 12 men either side. Could have run a little bit further, but he didn't. He passed there to the supporting Gibson. Just let's watch this movement again. It really is classic. Ford comes down the middle. Now he's looking to see where the defence is placed. He doesn't quite know whether to really go on, but Carl Gibson's up with him. A floated ball over the top, and here he comes inside with it, Vince Fawcett. But Schofield really took his eye off it at the last moment and put it down to ground.
There you go. Well, St Helens got a try in the first half when they won one against the head. Some of these scrums really are a bit farcical. Let's try again, fellas. Heron. Oh, brilliant stuff from Heron, and Ford's inside him, and Phil Ford will make it for Lee. Yes, Phil Ford is there. It's a try for the man who wanted it most. He raises his arm, and ever since the moment in the first half when Ford's catastrophic mistake presented St Helens with a try, he's been determined to atone, and he's done it in the best possible way.
Well, they've won this scrum again here, and I mean, it's the break by David Helen that really makes it. The ball comes back inside to Phil Ford. Full back now where he is playing, but he goes outside. He's just ahead of Alan Hunt all the way, and he goes over triumphantly for him.
And they are romping it at the moment. It's an extraordinary scoreline, and one I'm sure that David Cruikshank will be particularly happy about, having not been on the field since the second minute after his indiscretion. It's 34-14. Maskell kicks his 5th goal. Beavers holding Loughlin. St Helens badly wanting a score. Hunt back inside Kebby. Now then, Kebby, can he show his paces? Well caught by Fawcett. Loughlin. St Helens will continue to throw the ball around. It's the only way they know how to play. Connolly takes the ball from Haggerty. Now it's holding again and skips inside. Now finds Loughlin, runs into the back of his own man. They simply have to keep it moving. Griffiths. Gibson is in. Groves from acting half-back. He's kicked well once or twice today, and Deporti knocked that ball behind him. So he's all right to pick it up, and Leeds will have their 6 tackles. Starting here with Schofield in the gap. Schofield, away he goes. Terrific stuff from Gary Schofield. Ford inside him, and Phil Ford is racing on for his 2nd try. In the space of 3 or 4 minutes, the Leeds fans are going absolutely wild here. It's terrific stuff that Leeds are turning on. It's championship stuff, in fact, now, and one wonders, can they catch Wigan?
It really is brilliant stuff. Gary Schofield, we've said so much about this young fellow, but he really is magic, isn't he? Look at that, that's the classic outside break. He's coming down the touchline now, but this is the perfect pass. Look how he drew Connolly. Ford up with him, goes over unopposed.
He was a Ford unpopular in the first half, he's a very Ford popular now. Gary Deporti gets the job of trying to convert the tries. There have been plenty of them now. 7 for Leeds so far. Not as successful as Maskell. Nonetheless, 38 points to 14.
Well, let's just look at how a centre should play. This is the classic outside break. He goes outside Bateman, inside the cover defence. Now, this is the timing. Watch the timing of the pass. Perfect. Phil Ford takes it, and a post goes over, near enough to the post, but unfortunately Devote missed the kick.
Debbie is good. The crowd preferred the tackle. So, Primer Kebby, former rugby union man, trying to make his mark here at St Helens. The scrum wheeled right round there before it was picked up by young Sean Devine, and so Leeds are given a penalty. Well, they might surely run it now. Once Schofield has put the ball into the crowd, and here they come now. Well, St Helens must be dreading the sight of Vince Fawcett thundering in at them. Ford might be looking for a hat-trick try if it comes out right. Schofield. Ackerman, big gap surely, and Ford is there. But he's not going to get any further, but he has got Schofield away, and John Bentley will get the 8th Leeds try. It's all so simple. 2 for Bentley, 2 for Ford. With Ackerman and Hugh and Schofield and Devote.
Well, it's now become exhibition stuff, and they really are toying with the St Helens side. The long ball goes out wide. People are being drawn on the passes. Ackerman takes it here. He brings it back inside. They nearly run into each other there, but they still allow themselves to get back up. As that man Schofield again draws the pass. John Bentley takes it on the outside. Another score.
Now Schofield's going to have a go at kicking. Maskell off. Devote couldn't convert the one attempt he had. That's a good kick from Schofield. What a very good kick indeed.
Well, you have to ask yourself, what can't he do? Because, I mean, he just about does everything. He's played scrum half this afternoon. He's a test centre. He plays stand-off half for Leeds. He now plays scrum half this afternoon because of the unfortunate incident at the early part of the game when Cruikshank was sent off. And now he kicks goals like that as well. What more can you say about Gary Schofield?
He's probably won the club lottery. Lovely ball again, and Queety. He really gallops, and he's got Devote, he's got Gibson to pass to. Still going Queety, caught now by the ankle. Couple of minutes to go, just time for Leeds to get another one maybe. And if they can get it close enough to the sticks, they might have a half century here. Powell, Roy Powell, well, he's going for it, and he's got Phil Ford there. It's a hat-trick. What an afternoon. It sums up Phil Ford, doesn't it? He's almost a bizarre rugby league player.
Well, it'll do him a little. We said John Bentley needed that sort of thing last week to bring him back to the form we know he can play like, and certainly this will probably give Phil Ford all the confidence he now requires. He's been out of the game, he came back, he didn't have a particularly good performance last week, didn't start off well this game neither, but this afternoon he's contributed with 3 superb tries.
And that's the 50. Would you have believed that scoreline?
Well, they've moved again down the far side of the field, and they really are now toying with a tired St Helens defence, who have really been run off their feet all afternoon. Powell breaks through 2 tacklers, leaves them stranded on the floor. Perfectly timed pass. Ford yet again on the end of it, scores.
I'm sure he said, please note Malcolm Reilly. Once his Great Britain plays back too. He stayed away part of this season. Victory for the 12 men. 50 points to 40 and a real old drubbing for the Saints. They will be so glad to trudge back to the dressing room. Phil Ford there, whose afternoon started out as a nightmare with a fumble in the first minute, and then he cost his side a try, ends up as one of the heroes with a hat-trick. But they have a lot of heroes down there today. One of them certainly John Bentley too, with the game going against Leeds. He turned it back with a quite superb effort, and went on to get a second try as well. So there we have it, and What sweet reading that must be for Leeds fans with all those tries. 9 of them in all to go with 7 goals. And St Helens, who once led 14-6, didn't get a point in the second half. Cracking game though, David Watkins. Who was the man of the match for you?
Well, a superb 12-man Leeds performance, and my man of the match award, the Stones Bitter man of the match award, that is, goes to Gary Schofield. We have seen him make tries, score tries, kick goals. His instinctive ability, speed, tricky running, and his intelligent kicking from the hand makes it a performance to rank with the best. Well, congratulations, Gary. A superb performance, but you must have thought when you had a player sent off it was going to be a bit of trouble for you.
Yeah, we realised it was going to be that little bit harder, but all the boys said that we've got to just put that little bit of effort in, and we did that, and the scoreline reflects the game, really, and it's 2 out points to yourself a lot of good, and hopefully Wakefield could do us a favour tonight.
Well, a superb performance again by you, and I'm sure that you will be all looking at the Wakefield result this evening.
Yeah, we're keeping our fingers crossed, but then we've got to play Wigan in, I believe, 8 days' time, so we'll prepare for them in 8 days.
Well done.
Thanks, David. Thank you.
If we get our act together, we can prove that we can beat the likes of Wigan. I think we can beat anybody on our day.
Well, that's the sort of match that must make you glad you really came back into the fold here.
Yes, very much so. I think I missed 8 first-team games at Leeds, and it's made me a lot harder. It's been a lot harder for me to fight my way back into the team, but hopefully I'll prove to people that I can play football, and David's been good enough to give me a chance again, so hopefully I can take it with both hands.
We prepared ourselves very well for this game, and we do it with vital, even to maintain our second spot in the league.
It was actually championship form, wasn't it?
Well, it was indeed, but we'll just win our next 3 matches and let things take its course.
The day's facts and figures are these. 22 scrums were shared out evenly, though St Helens took 2 against the head. One of them led directly to a try. A creditably low penalty count saw Leeds concede 7, St Helens just 6. And on a day which was perfect for open running rugby, errors were predictable. Leeds dropped 17 passes, St Helens spilled 21. Well, no doubt about the other most meaningful match of the day. It's Wakefield Trinity against the leaders Wigan. Here's Brendan Foley.
After Leeds' display at Headingley, the spotlight was very much on Bellevue tonight, and Wakefield revelled in it, piling on the pressure early on against a nervous-looking Wigan. It was no more than Trinity deserved when they went ahead after 17 minutes. Nigel Bell more at home in the pack, but at scrum half tonight, burrowing his way over for the first try of the game. Mark Conway made no mistake with the conversion, 6-0. Wigan managed to reduce the arrears with a penalty from Bobby Goulding. But Wakefield's continued pressure allowed Conway to restore the 6-point gap with a penalty of his own on the half-hour mark. Substitute Martin Dermott dropped a goal for Wigan, but Wakefield led 8-3 at the break. John Money's men galvanised themselves during the interval, and a heavy bombardment of the Wakefield line brought its reward, and it was the 2 subs who provided the breakthrough. Phil Clark's pass, and Dermott darts his way through the gap for a fine opportunist try. No conversion there, so Wigan trailing by a single point. Their incessant pressure had to tell. Andy Gregory's pass to Ellery Hanley, on to Sean Edwards. The Great Britain trio, not for the first time, in perfect concert. Steve Hampson had taken over the kicking duties from Goulding, who'd gone off injured. Successful this time, Wigan in front at 13-8. All the early tension had gone now. Gregory orchestrating things again. The ball out to winger Ian Gilfillan. And that man Hanley there again. But just watch him here. Instead of touching down, he makes a point of trying to get under the post for an easy conversion. Phil Eden almost makes him pay for the liberty. But much to Hanley's relief, the ref and linesman come down on his side. Wigan hadn't finished yet. That old Gregory-Edwards combination at half-back, putting Mark Preston in at the corner. Wakefield had played with great spirit all night, and they had the last say through that battler supreme, Ray Price. Purely incidental, though. The final score, Wakefield 14, Wigan 23. The title balance swings back to Central Park.
Well, elsewhere, there was a real scoring spree. In 6 Division 1 matches, 4 teams ran up half-centuries. Castleford's Graham Steadman notched up 36 points on his own against Salford, who had Ian Blease sent off and 2 men sin-binned while conceding 65 points. Keith Mumby got 20 points for Bradford at Barrow. Darren Wright, a hat-trick among 11 tries for Widnes against Sheffield. Paul Eastwood's 12 points for Hull keeps the relegation pressure on Featherstone 2. John Woods kicks 6 out of 6 to take Rochdale into Division 1. Oldham are also up. Results from the Stonesborough Championship. Barrow 6, Bradford Northern 60. Castleford 65, Salford 0. Leeds 50, St Helens 14. Lee 14, Hull 24. Wakefield 14, Wigan 23. Widnes 52, Sheffield Eagles 20. So Wigan end the day as they began it, 2 points clear of Leeds. It's now a two-horse race, 3 fences each left to jump. Bradford may be the best bet for third place now, because Widnes have played a game more and St Helens still have to play Wigan. At the bottom, Wakefield could still make the Premiership, the rest could make Division 2. Barrow have finished their season having scored 201 points and conceded 1,133. So they're down and out. Salford are just down. Sheffield, Lee and Featherstone will fight to the death to see who joins them. Division 2. Carlisle 2, Fulham 14. Chorley 28, Trafford Borough 30. Dewsbury 26, Huddersfield 8. Hulkingston Rovers 42, Bramley 10. Nottingham 18, Workington 12. Rydale York 52, Runcorn 11. Swinton 16, Rochdale 37. Whitehaven 30, Batley 6. Congratulations to Rochdale. Victory over Swinton means they're promoted, and also to Oldham, because Swinton now can't catch them either. Hulkingston Rovers need one more win to be mathematically certain of joining them. In fact, with a good points difference, they're the most likely to go up as champions. Featherstone are trying desperately to avoid making the opposite journey. We see them next Sunday on Scrumdown against Bradford, who are